Welcome back to the Blurb Breakdown with Taylor and Megan, where we break down and dive into the book blurbs, the good, the bad, and the cringeworthy.
Fair warning, this podcast is rated R for mature content, strong language, and spicy discussions. If you're not ready for swoon-worthy scenes, steam, and unfiltered bookish opinions, proceed with caution. Otherwise, grab a drink and join us. She doesn't want to be bothered with any of this, and right at the beginning, she's literally just using her title to get shit done.
Yes,
And
yeah, absolutely.
I loved it.
Yeah. She's not like power hungry or anything like that.
No.
Like you said, she's just using it in power play moves because she knows that she needs to make the moves that she needs and needs to get people to respect her and listen to her. But in reality, yes, she doesn't actually have any interest in being the ruler and doing any of that.
Yeah.
So she came back from Wendolyn. We do have her like under the vaults and like the tunnels. She was trying to figure out what Arobynn is doing because we get to enjoy Arobynn again. Yay!
Yeah, he gave me the ick the whole time that he was involved in this story. Just the way he spoke to her, the way he looked at her, the way he acted. I was just like, somebody take him out, please. Just.
I know, it's just like so frustrating. I did not think okay. I knew we were gonna obviously have to get Arobynn back. We did not know what happened with him, and she is now out. The last Celaena has seen of Arobynn should have been right before she was captured and gone to Endovier.
Right.
So they still use her name Celaena when it comes to Arobynn. We get Lysandra again.
Yes.
So we do her arc.
Huge.
So good. Yes. Because they did not like each other.
No, they hated each other because of
Assassin's Blade,
when she came back and was seeing Sam again for the first time, Lysandra was all over him. Ugh. And I mean, we find out that it was because Arobynn had pinned them against each other on purpose. Yeah. So this part of her that we see is a new side. And it was so nice to see where her loyalty really lies. And right off from the beginning, Arobynn's still on his shit and trying to get Lysandra to do some dirty work and find out where Aelin's head is at. And Lysandra tells her that essentially, hey, this is what he's doing. She ends up giving her a letter from Wesley, where Wesley tried to tell Celaena what Arobynn was planning. And we find out also, too, that Lysandra and Wesley they had a thing. They were in love with each other.
Yeah, I'm so sad.
In true Arobynn fashion, with his jealousy, had Wesley killed just like Sam.
Right.
So, what? But I did love to see that Lysandra was a lot deeper than we had seen previously.
Yes. Yeah, way more, because before we only really got surface level, really snobby little girl that you just want to go away, I guess I should say.
Yep.
But really, there's so many more layers to her story, and things we weren't aware of, like you said, that Arobynn was setting up that caused the rift between Celaena and Lysandra and really a lot of the other assassins.
Yeah.
So that was an interesting arc, and then hearing about her paying off her debts, and then she basically had to get her debts back because of
Evangeline.
Yes, Evangeline. She basically destroyed her face, so that way Evangeline didn't have to go through.
She wouldn't be valuable.
Yeah, and go through what she had to go through.
That was huge, which then put Lysandra back on the chopping block of basically prostituting herself out
Yeah.
to pay for these things, or to pay for Evangeline and what she would have essentially been worth. And what was messed up is that what was her name? Clarice, the
Yes.
madam. Okay.
Yeah, that sounds right.
She the older Evangeline got, and the more she started to develop into a woman, the
Mm-hmm.
more that Clarice would charge and say, "Oh no, she's worth more than I originally said." So this whole time, year after year, Lysandra's just steady acquiring more debt,
Yeah.
and we do find out. Since we're just kind of doing a review, we do find out that Lysandra is actually a shapeshifter. And
Yes.
the form that she's in is actually not her true form.
Mm-hmm.
And when magic fell, that's what she was in. That body is what she was in,
Mm-hmm.
which unfortunately led her to this life of prostitution and sadness, because she wanted to look pretty for a day. You know what I mean? Made me really
Right.
sad for her that she and it wasn't even her, it was the king. You know, when the magic dropped and she was
Yeah.
stuck, like there was no way to get out of it.
No, but I have a huge feeling, yes, we're gonna get lots of magic, and so I
Mm-hmm.
cannot wait to see how her story plays along with this war that we know is obviously coming.
Yeah.
Um, and really getting her to be in her true form and see how that goes. I'm really stoked because we have a lot of
Yes.
different shapeshifters we end up learning about.
Yeah.
Like Rowan is the hawk.
Mm-hmm.
So super stoked for that.
Oh. Um we do jump in pretty early in the story with the black collars and the Vogue
Yes.
and what
Dorian.
not. Yes. That his whole story, him throughout this specific book was really sad to me,
I
because
know.
you could tell, and several people like in the book had commented on it, that he was still in there.
Yes,
Like they
yes.
knew he was still in there fighting to get past his Vogue Prince, and he could at some points, but not really
Mm-hmm.
enough to be like, help me, you know what I mean?
Right. Right.
So that really killed me, because I have liked Dorian. I've never once thought he
Yes.
was a bad person, and so to
Mm-mm.
see such bad happening to him just broke my heart.
I know. I mean, I truly love Dorian. I do love Kale and Dorian's friendship. So
Oh
we
yeah.
do get to see Kale's side, and Kale's goal is to save Dorian. Like his
Yes.
loyalty, he ends up telling Aelin that like he wants to save Dorian, and Aelin said if we have to take him out and he's not in there anymore, like I'm not gonna give him the chance to kill me. Like I'm going to have to kill him. And
Right.
Kale is like basically like, please don't.
Yeah, he really struggled with that internal thought, because
Yeah.
you're looking at your best friend, but it's not.
Mm-mm. Has to go save Aelin's cousin Adian, and so when
Mm-hmm.
they come up with this plan, Aelin really does tell Kale like, hey, if it comes down to it. But then we do get that moment where Aelin and Dorian, and she's like, please, please, just give me a sign that you're in there. And I think it was Nezrin who ends up
Mm-hmm.
shooting the arrow and basically knocks out Selena's weapon, and she kind of leaves it. So Dorian is
Yeah.
still alive and kicking at this point.
And I think, I don't know if that was the scene or not, but Dorian came out at one point, like came through the Vogue Prince and basically
Mm-hmm.
said, "Kill me, like please kill me." And
Yes,
I think it was
yes.
this part, and
I think you're
um,
right. Yep.
I think that's Nezrin had witnessed that moment, and that's why she's like, "No, he's still in there." And of course, her loyalty lies with Kaol at this point. She doesn't know Aelin
Yes.
from Joe Schmo down the street,
Right.
so her loyalty
Yes.
is with Kaol, and Kaol is essentially leading the rebels at this point. So
Yeah, because Kale went with Nezrin until she's over, yeah, in the rebels, and we find out that they actually have history previous. He does know of Nesrin from previous. We don't hear about it in the book, or we don't get that storyline in the book, but we do know that they have history, so they are loyal to each other.
Mm-hmm.
And not Aelin. And I don't. Nesrin comes off as like she doesn't really like Aelin very much right now.
I wonder if it's because she's aware of the history between Aelin and Chaol. Because we do find out later in the story that Nesrin has a thing for Chaol.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like in any natural situation like this, she would be jealous anyway. So I wonder if that's why she has such odd feelings toward Aelin.
Yeah. And that I honestly think like Chaol is still okay. Aelin, when she got back, she did not know how the meeting or seeing Chaol for the first time was going to go.
Mm-hmm.
But she finds out he's straight up ticked at her. Like he basically, I don't know why, he just blames her for a lot of what's happening.
Mm-hmm.
Even though us as readers, we are aware that she is not the reason. This stuff has been in works since before her. Like, obviously, she was a child and they killed her parents. Because we do find out, like, Dorian and, Aelin have met when they were younger at, like, a dinner gathering.
Mm-hmm.
And when we go through that and what happens with that in the story, we know this is all planned well before. Like, the King of Adarlan planned all of this.
He actually tried, I think, at that dinner party to get into Aelin.
Yes, you are correct.
And who else better than the Princess of Terrasen? Because you're ruling over Adarlan now, so why not try to take the princess or even the king and queen and have all these Vogs over all these areas?
Yes. Because we know that the king, we end up finding out that the king is actually taken over by a Vog. So,
failed to mention that.
No, it's perfect. So yeah, like he did try to go on the young Aelin, and it didn't work out. Like she had power, and I'm pretty sure she let loose on that moment, and they basically had to remove her from that dinner party. And so then they continue on with that story, and then we find out that Marion, right?
Yeah.
Marion ends up having to go and like save her. It was just such a sad moment.
Yeah. That so you brought up Marion.
And I know you like Marion.
I did. I loved Marion. And in this story, we get her daughter that she left behind. And we find out because the daughter is with Manon and the Witch Clan, and Manon tells her, I don't even think she knew. What's her name? Alid?
Yes.
I don't even think she knew, but Manon knew that Alid has witch blood in her. And we know, putting all the pieces together, that the witch blood is carried down maternally, which means that Marion was a witch.
Yes.
Which, what? And another thing, just hopping around a little bit, we found out that the Vogue is actually created because a witch and a fae reproduced. And that's where the Vogue came from.
Yes.
So, what, we get Duke Parrington a lot in this story, and I can't stand him, but can't help that. We find out that he is also being controlled by a Vogue, and that Vogue is hungry for little Vogue babies.
Oh, so, yes.
We know, obviously, now that the Vogue carries the witch line, the witch blood with them, and so they're wanting something more powerful. So now they're wanting to essentially crossbreed the witch, which already has the Vogue, which already has witch blood, and then another witch. Together. And we know that the Vogue can take over its host by the black collars, the black rings, whatever. That's its portal into the host. What Duke Parrington is wanting to do is take these witches and gives me the heebie-jeebies. Wants to sew a little black onyx stone down by their uterus to allow these Vogue to impregnate these witches. What the hell? Who comes up with this?
Weird. It's so weird. They want to have little Vogue witch babies, and they basically want one of the Blackbeak clans, and Manon is like, oh, hell no. You can take a Yellow Leg. You can take the Yellow Legs clan. You're not taking my Blackbeaks.
Right. And he does agree to that, but later on in the story, he fights for the Blackbeaks, and Manon's grandmother's like, you need to give him what he wants, or like essentially I'm gonna beat the hell out of you. And
seriously, I cannot stand her grandmother.
No, God, that was terrible.
These witches are gnarly. Like,
yeah, they are
gnarly in how they rule their clans.
Well, and we get a lot of the Blackbeak and the witch story in this book, and we find out that those witches that are actually pregnant, not with Vogue babies, just in general, are sacred because the witchlings are sacred, the babies. And so we do find out that Astrid actually got pregnant, and I want to say it was by a human. And she ends up hiding it from him, and she goes back to the witch clan. And basically she is like put in a room and put on bed rest, whatever, to keep her safe. She ends up delivering a stillborn baby, so her baby wasn't alive when she delivered. And Manon's grandmother, who was ruling still at this time, beat the hell out of her and basically told her she was like weak and worthless because she couldn't bring a live baby into the world. And I think she ruined her to ever be able to have another baby. So like it just made me mad because like the mom carrying the baby is sacred and the baby is sacred, but if the mom lost the baby, like we treat them like garbage. Like that made me really sad. So these Blackbeaks are absolutely F you. You're not getting any of us pregnant. We're not carrying those devil spawn babies. So
and we know no, and then we know we've met a Yellow Legs. We met Baba Yellow Legs, who Selena and Aelin ultimately ended up getting in a fight with and killing because basically she was willing to sell Dorian's secrets. And Aelin does care for Dorian. They are friends. So
trying to protect him.
Yeah, and so we kind of see how that clan kind of played with their games and stuff too, and with their information.
Yeah.
So I mean, these witches are just definitely interesting ones. They're great for reading about. Manon is a badass. I'm just gonna say that. Manon, huge badass.
And
then Astrid and Alid, like, we love them. They're great.
I struggled with Astrid in this book a lot until the end.
Yes.
Or I guess about maybe 3/4 of the way when we got that story about her. Then I was like, okay, so she's acting this way because of what happened to her. Because all of her attitude and pushback to Manon happened when she found out what Duke Parrington was doing with these witches in the Vogue. So once we found out what happened with her, it was 1000% understandable.
Yeah, because she was pissed, and I mean, I do not blame her at all.
No,
because it's weird, and then they're literally doing it one after another. So like we learned that they ended up already having some, and then they're basically doing it again and again.
Like
that's why they needed more. That's why they needed more witches because they're just like trying to pop them out like crazy.
Yeah. I remember Alid mentioning that they had opened the door. She was dropping off like a laundry or something, and they opened the door, and one of the Vogue princes was there, and she saw the babies who, in natural time, should not have been here yet, and that the witches were then fully pregnant, ready to have another baby. And
Yes.
I was shocked when I read that. I was like, how in the world? How in the world?
No way. No way.
Mm-mm.
So then we flip back over to Aelin. We
Mm-hmm.
do know like they do save Adian.
Yes.
And who shows up that we find out like tucked his way on a ship? Rowan! Yay!
Came for his girl.
He just could not stay away.
Right. I think he said that to her too. Like
he did, yeah.
I
disobeyed her.
Be without you any longer.
He disobeyed her orders about staying and just was like, no, I cannot. I will say there was a little bit of a jealousy going on with Aiden and Rowan once Adian realized that Aelin allowed Rowan to take the blood oath.
Mm-hmm. And with the king and queens of Terrasen, that is super, super sacred to them. And they only allow one. Like, I don't think just overall you're allowed to have one, but I think that was just the rule of Terrasen is you could only have one.
Yeah.
And Adian thought his whole life, even as a child, that was going to be his. And he actually said some really hateful things to Aelin.
Yeah.
And Rowan jumped his ass. Aelin told him to get out. He slept on the roof taking watch.
Yeah, we find out that he didn't just go disappear anywhere. He literally was just up on the roof.
No. And then I think it was the next day or a couple days, him and Rowan are like fighting, like sparring, and Rowan tells him, "Don't ever fucking speak to your queen like that again." And I was like, I love a bodyguard royalty romance, and I got that in that exact moment, and I loved it.
Yes, it was so great because Aelin basically said, like, you can still take the blood oath. Like, I'm not giving that spot away. Like, you're still able to. Adian does decide that he wanted to think on it, and then he wants to wait till they reclaim Terrasen to take it.
Yeah.
Which I don't blame him at all. So eventually Rowan, Adian, Aelin, like, they start to get along, and they really start to bring in like Lysandra, and we're building Aelin's court.
Yes.
We are building up her court. You know, we've got Adian, we've got Rowan, we got Lysandra. I think I'm missing a couple others. I am more to come.
Yes.
It's getting good.
It is. I so enjoyed all of that. Like, just watching her make those connections in such a natural way.
Yes.
It wasn't like, oh, I want you on my court. I want you on my court. It was, let me build these friendships and really strengthen that bond. And then those are just my people, you know?
Yep.
That I did love that Sarah J. Maas did that and built those relationships so naturally.
Yeah, like they end up just proving themselves to her, and that's what makes it like they just become a strong, well-rounded like family. I would say, like, kind of like a little found family. She doesn't know. Like, Aelin tells, you know, what she wants to do. She wants to release magic. She wants to kill the king. And then she ultimately wants to kill Dorian, too, if she must.
Right. And Chaol does tell her toward the beginning of the book, like, we need to take one of the clock towers down. That and 2 other towers are what's keeping the magic at bay. And we need to take one of those down. And obviously the closest one to them is going to be the one in Adarlan. At the palace, at the castle.
Right.
So they have this whole elaborate plan, which I was just floored by, okay? But the plan is for Aelin to essentially distract the king, distract Dorian, the Vogue portion of them, while Adian and Rowan sneak in. So we have the tunnels, okay? And then below the tunnels, we have the catacombs, which is where we need to get. So we're down in the catacombs. Rowan and Adian are, and they're trying to blow some stuff up. And who is the guy? What is his name? Lorcan?
Yeah, we do have a Lorcan.
Okay. So he comes and he is just causing problems left and right. He
Yeah.
supposedly killed all these Volghound animal whatevers that are trying to attack everybody. Well, we come to find out when we're in the catacombs that he didn't kill them. And here they come.
Yeah.
And Lorcan ended up showing up down there, and I don't really fucking know what for because he was of no use, really. But out of nowhere, they're about to get overtaken by these Volkhounds. Out of nowhere, this ghost leopard comes and starts ripping freaking people apart, Volks apart. And it's like, Sandra.
Yes.
Oh, they dropped the clock tower. Which is why Lysandra was able to shift. I left that little piece out. They did blow up the clock tower.
Mm-hmm.
And then they were almost overtaken, and Lysandra came in and saved the day. So immediately, though, as soon as that tower dropped, everybody's power came back. Like, Aelin could feel hers. Rowan was able to have more strength and be able to like do what he needed to do down there. And while they're blowing that up, Aelin is upstairs trying to pull Dorian out of this Vogue Prince.
Mm-hmm.
And he does. He somehow overpowers it and he comes out. And he was able to rip his own collar off. Yes. So that was impressive because from what they sounded like at the beginning, or like first half of the book, is you couldn't rip it off yourself. You couldn't take the ring off. You couldn't take the collar off.
Oh, yeah.
So he found that power and was able to come back through. The Vogue Prince was like losing his freaking mind. Don't do it. Don't do it. But
yeah,
he did.
Yes.
And that is when we found out. And it could have been mentioned before, and I just didn't catch on it. That the king was also infected by a Vogue.
Yes.
I mean,
yeah, like I mentioned
he was just
earlier,
naturally bad. And it was at this point I at least... Yeah, right? It was at that point, because he was infected, or I say infected, I guess that's the right word, for, like, since Dorian was little.
Yeah.
Baby. Yeah. So, but that whole scene was so climactic, and being able to see Dorian come out and find him again in that body was so exciting.
Yes, I completely agree. So speaking back on the Vogue, we'll backtrack over to where Celaena, I say Celaena because she's talking with Arobynn. He basically like tells her to pick someone to fight, and she basically picks a Vogue Prince. She decides to battle him, and then they take him and go and question him with Arobynn. And they do pull out enough information to learn about like the rings and the taking over of the Vogue, and that the people are still inside. Ultimately, Arobynn cuts off his finger.
Yeah.
Because he has a ring. And the guy basically is begging for them just to end it. Like, all the stuff that he's been through, because he knows everything that, like, all the bad he's had to do. He just couldn't do anything about it.
Right.
And, like, they were like, why don't you just, like, cut his head off and, like, just kill him? Well, he took the ring. And what does Arobynn do with the ring?
He slid it onto Celaena's finger.
Dude, my mouth dropped.
Oh, when I was writing my notes, I said, "Oh my god, OMG, no," in big capital letters, because I was freaking out. And you don't get so many internal thoughts in this book because it's in third person, so you don't know what Celaena has already experienced, what Aelin has already experienced. And so what you're seeing is right this very moment, like you're looking through a window watching, and that's what you see. And so then Arobynn is like telling her, say this, do that, do this. And she's following his commands, and I was like, holy shit.
I was like, oh my god, how are we supposed to come back from this?
I just got goosebumps because that is how much that one moment affected me.
Yeah, I was straight up panicking.
She gets back to her apartment, like, is like this the whole way home, and I'm like...
Yeah, with Rowan and Aiden, yeah.
Yeah, and she gets home, and then just out of nowhere, she takes the ring and checks it, and she's like, I'm good. I'm fucking with y'all.
I was just like, oh my gosh, hallelujah, thank you.
Yeah.
Woo!
So, come to find out, Lysandra apparently has a really good jeweler and recreated this ring. And it was mentioned in the story, had Arobynn taken the Volg commander's glove off, he would have seen a missing finger already, which is where his ring was at. So through all of this questioning, and it also made me feel bad a little bit when like they actually like took him out.
I know.
He was himself. He wasn't a Volg commander at that time.
Yeah.
But they thought everything through. And I was like, okay.
Yes. So a big theme that I've noticed like throughout this whole series is Aelin very much is planning in her head and not telling anybody.
No!
Which mind you, there's a little bit of the miscommunication that kind of frustrates me about her. I'm like, you gotta open up to your peoples. They don't know what's going on.
Right,
But,
you just scared everybody half to death, and you're like,
yeah. Seriously. But I'm sure she has her reasons for it.
Yeah, and she needed that natural reaction from them.
Yeah.
For Arobynn to believe what he was doing was actually happening.
Mm-hmm.
So I 100% understand why she did it, but like, can you tell the readers, please?
Oh my gosh, that was just like so stressful. I'm glad it didn't get drawn out though. I'm glad it was really like she went back and was like done. Like we didn't have to have her like, I'm gonna stay with Arobynn and blah 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 and just drawn that out. I would have been like so irritated.
And then it was right after this that we really were able to see where Lysandra's loyalties really truly lied.
Mm-hmm.
Because she was with Arobynn a couple nights later or something like that, and she ends up slitting his throat and killing him.
Yeah, her and Aelin have a plan. And Aelin was okay with allowing Lysandra to be the one to take Arobynn out. Because we know that Aelin wanted to be the one to take him out for Sam.
Yeah.
But after she figures out everything that Lysandra did, she is good with her doing it and is like, are you sure? Like, you got this? But you're right. She does. She slits his throat. Go ahead.
I think that was huge for Aelin as well, being able to hand over that power for just a moment.
Yeah.
Especially knowing what Arobynn did to Wesley.
Mm-hmm.
So while Aelin had a lot of stuff happen to her that Arobynn did, Lysandra maybe wasn't as bad, but he did a lot of shit to her too.
Oh no, I think actually she might have got it worse. Like you said, like,
well, she had to
poor girl. Yeah, like poor girl had to keep his bed warm. So, I think Aelin knew she needed it, and so that's what they did. It does work out, and they find out in Arobynn's will that everything went to Aelin.
Yes.
But he also, basically, it says to tell the guards that Lysandra is a shapeshifter. And so the guards come to her apartment with her and Evangeline and take Lysandra away.
They do take her. Which, let me ask you this, because they also burned all of his wills and replaced them, leaving everything to Aelin. Like, she did that on purpose. So why didn't they take that portion out? Or was it supposed to happen this way?
That's a good question.
Because this was actually before magic, before the magic was freed.
Yeah, so honestly, that's a great question.
I wonder if they left that in there on purpose, because they knew when they redid the wills that she was a shapeshifter. So I wonder why they left it in there. Arobynn fucking knew everybody's secrets. Fucking asshole. Yeah. But Yeah, they do take her, and Aelin and Rowan and Adian all go back to her apartment, whatever day it was, and poor Evangeline is there, scared to death.
Yeah. Yep.
She's like, Lysandra told me that I can trust you, and if anything were to ever happen to her, that I have to come straight here to you.
Mm-hmm.
So they took her, and then we end up finding her when, like, they were obviously on the hunt. They want her. She's super important to their group right now.
Mm-hmm.
And we end up finding her when the king and Dorian meet with like Duke Parrington and the witches and the grandma.
Yeah. The grandma.
And that is where they find Lysandra.
Yes. Yes. So, I mean, Aelin ultimately frees Lysandra from the wagon. She did told Chaol that she would try not to kill Dorian during Lysandra's rescue. But she does end up watching Manon's grandmother slap Manon when Aelin gets away with Lysandra.
Yeah.
So she did kind of get to have a little bit of, I don't know, understanding. I don't know if that's the right word.
Of why Manon was the way she was.
Yeah, and like just knowing like she's following orders and this is what she's going back to is when things go wrong.
Yeah. And I remember during that scene, Manon actually approached Dorian, and the Vogue Prince was freaking the hell out. Like, get her away from me, get her away from me. And I'm like, what is going on here that the Vogue Prince is actually afraid of the witch? Because they're reproducing over here in Morath. Yeah. So what's going on here that he's afraid? So it makes me wonder what truly lies within Manon that they're afraid. But Manon did experience a moment with Dorian where he came out. And it plays in later when there were notes posted all over the freaking town square saying the man inside, he's still inside. And so Aelin knew that was for her. But they did have a moment in that whole scene. There was a battle between Manon and Aelin.
Oh, and this was a battle.
Yes. Rowan gets
powerhouse
shot.
Females. I know. Oh my god, it's so this whole battle is stressful, and you like. Look, I love Manon, but I am an Aelin fan. I know we've got our Manon's our favorites. We've got our Aelin. I mean, I love them all, but I was like,
but when they're battling it out,
yeah. It was stressful.
It was a very intense because they are both out for blood. They are both pissed about what they have going on in their lives, about their families, about everything. And so when they finally battle it out and Manon is literally about to fall to her death, Aelin reaches down and pulls her up.
Yes, they end up getting like this beautiful moment of respect.
Yes. And almost immediately in the whole story, you felt a shift of loyalty. And Manon...
I just got goosebumps now.
Manon just, like you said, that respect thing. Manon just had this whole new respect for her as the Queen of Terrasen. For saving her life when she didn't have to. And... it speaks volumes about Aelin and what kind of ruler she's going to be.
Yay! Oh, I loved it. I loved it. Like I said, two female powerhouses came to a moment of respect. I love it.
Wait to see them fight together.
Yes, and I'm sorry. I'm kind of digging the Manon Dorian.
Not tell me.
No, just like I don't even remember, but like just like the connection that they're like kind of building, and like because Dorian, he did kind of lose Aelin, and he
lost Sorsha.
He lost Sorsha, so that was devastating. Find out his dad is just like evil.
Not even his fucking dad. He's
Right.
literally been ruled by somebody else.
Yep, and then he gets turned into Vogue or gets taken over. So it's just nice to see that someone was able to like help bring out Dorian and just have a little bit more understanding and like a fresh beginning and a little more understanding of like sometimes you have to do bad. It doesn't make you a bad person.
Yeah.
So I just really liked that they both seemed to have someone that kind of connected the lines away. Yeah, are a little bit better than Duke Farrington and Kaltain and all of them.
Yeah, and that note that Manon left for Aelin, basically telling her that Dorian was still in that body, was her fighting for him. And at this point, nobody was fighting for him.
No, nope. Except for Chaol, but
yeah, and even at that moment when Chaol, when Aelin and her crew, Rowan, Chaol, Adian, were going to find Lysandra, and Dorian and Manon were there. Even in that moment, Chaol said, "If you have to kill him, kill him."
Yeah, you're right. Like he did come to terms where there was potential that they didn't know of a way to save him, or if he was going to be savable.
Right.
But luckily, like I said, like Manon came out and proved to everybody that he was still in there.
Yes, I'm so glad she did.
Yes,
because it gave everybody that moment to say, "All right, now we need to fight for him."
Yeah,
and everybody was on board. We're gonna save him. That's our mission now, is to get him out.
Yes. So it was really great. Yeah, I definitely loved it. We do find out that like Aelin ends up paying off all of Lysandra's debts with Clarisse, so she is now free. So love that for her. It's such a beautiful moment. Lysandra has not been free any point of the books that we've read or anything that we've heard about her story. So that was really, really nice. And officially like basically joins Aelin's court.
Yes. That was a sweet moment when she was like, "Hey, I have this piece of land and it's yours if you want it."
Yeah.
And she like didn't outright ask to be if she would be on her court, which I thought was so sweet because again, it brings you back to who Aelin is as a person, and she doesn't want to feel superior to everybody else. Yeah. And so her just offering her this land, Lysandra knew what it meant, and she would now become Lady Lysandra and Lady Evangeline eventually when all that came to be, because Lysandra's her parent, her parent now, and she's going to be with her. So I loved that moment so much.
Yeah, just me too.
Such a powerful moment for two people who hated each other a book and a half ago.
Right. Yes. No, it was so good. Aelin doesn't want to own anybody. Like she's obviously been owned or in debt. So yeah, she didn't want to do that. She wanted to just to say like, you have a place with us and you're more than welcome to take it.
Yeah. And she does. So I'm excited to see her step into that role, truly officially being on Aelin's court moving forward.
Yes, I agree.
Then Rowan and Aelin finally, holy freaking crap, finally kiss. And I think Rowan is just like, I almost lost you more than once. F it all. And let's see where this takes us.
I know. I love it.
I love it too. Love it.
So we know that like Throne of Glass is not known for spice. So don't expect to get a lot of spice. But like you do have very beautiful moments and very beautiful conversations. And it is very fantasy led, high fantasy, still so good. Even without the extra.
Even somebody who loves reading the spice in romance, like this, it's done so well, giving you exactly what you need when you need it. And I don't feel like it's missing out on any romance at all.
No, I completely agree. Because, like, we are very focused on there's a war coming.
There is a war coming. They are turning soldiers into Vogue to fight.
Yes. Yep.
Oh, man. Oh, goodness. Okay. So, that I'm assuming will probably come in the next book, because this one ends with, obviously, the clock tower came down, which we had talked about before. And in doing that, Dorian was hurt pretty badly. And so he is in a deep sleep coma situation. And Aelin goes out and in front of the people of Adarlan says, there's a new king. And he is basically indisposed right now. I will be your ruler until he is ready to take over. And if you have an issue with it, say it to my face.
Yeah.
And everybody was fine with it. They hung out in Adarlan in the castle for a couple days. Dorian wakes up, and there's such a sweet moment between Dorian and Aelin where she's like, we're going to do this together. Yeah. You're going to rule Adarlan. I'm going to rule Terrasen, and we're going to work together. From here on out, let's promise to work together. And he's like, bet, let's do it. So he finally takes over his duties as the Queen of Adarlan.
Yep.
And Aelin gathers her court, Aedion, Rowan, Lysandra, and they all head out to Terrasen.
Yeah, so a little bit before this, I will say, just because we're leading into, we're going to do a tandem, is her and Chaol very much have had a good talk now. And he apologized for blaming her for everything, and they have come to an understanding. And he tells her he just wants her to be happy, and she tells him she wants him just to be happy, and that she thinks that he should give Nesryn a try.
Which he does. He shoots his shot, and Nesryn catches that ball. Yes. And she's so for it. She's so for it.
I'm really excited that we're going to be doing the tandem, because obviously Empire of Storms follows Aelin in her court, whereas Tower of Dawn follows Chaol and Nesryn in their story. Because at the very, very end of Queen of Shadows, unfortunately, Chaol does get hurt very badly. Where he, as of right now, cannot walk.
Yes.
So Chaol is paralyzed. And he does, unfortunately, start to get a little frustrated and blame Aelin again a little bit for that. But this is his own mental stuff that we will learn and go through with him in Tower of Dawn. And then I'm excited for Empire of Storms and the journey all the way to Terrasen.
Yes, I'm excited. I mean, we already know there's a battle coming. Like, they already tell us in this book. So, I'm excited for that. I love a good battle scene.
Yes. So, stay tuned for our next episode. I'm not going to do that because it's technically not our next episode. Stay tuned. In one of our upcoming episodes, we are going to tandem Empire of Storms and Tower of Dawn breakdown.
Yes, we're going to Terrasen.
All right, Blurblers, we'll catch you next time.